Netflix has launched a bid for Warner Brothers that would take over the catalog that includes HBO, CNN, and more. $72 billion. That's the money that is on the table for Netflix to buy Warner Brothers. It's caused a lot of angst. It's caused a lot of outrage among the populace in the community out there in the audience, and it's even drawn the attention of President Donald Trump.
Should they be allowed to buy Warner Brothers? Should Netflix?
Well, that's the question. They have a very big market share. And when they have Warner Brothers, that share goes up a lot. So I don't know. That's going to be for some economists to tell. And also, and I'll be involved in that decision, too. They have a very big market share.
I'm having trouble, fellas, making sense of why this is so bad. Dan, you ran a little analysis on AI about why this is so bad. Let's walk through these reasons, because I don't think any of them stand to hold up, at least not in my personal experience. And I'm sure everybody listening right now pays multiple subscriptions to multiple streaming services and is analyzing this through the prism of what it will cost them and what it means for their experience in consuming content. I'd be surprised if people have a much different point of view than do I when it comes to Netflix. All right, here's number one, according to Two-A-Days, Dan. Too much power in one place. Netflix will control a massive library of movies and shows from Warner Brothers, HBO, DC, CNN, and it would be the biggest streaming platform. That means, according to critics, fewer choices, less competition.
That's what Trump said.
Should Warner Brothers be bought by Netflix? Yeah, fine. Less competition. But I would argue in the most competitive environment in business right now. I mean, do you guys feel like content creation is a dominated marketplace? Just a few years ago, we had, a few years ago, in my lifetime, it feels like a few years ago, 30 years ago, 3 broadcasters, then 4 with the advent of Fox. Cable comes along, and you have, 24 cable channels producing meaningful content, and most of it, by the way, was filler. What about at the library?
No, it's about libraries. It's about libraries of content, not newer content. It's about
franchises,
and franchise tag, all those type of things. It's more about what they already own and control.
And also, it's being consolidated by a handful of companies. And movies are much different. Like something where you talk, like a cable news show or something like that. It's much lower cost of barrier for entry. So I think movies, it's a much bigger deal.
Okay, well, first of all, I guess I don't think about things in terms of movies. Look, let's talk about this. I am a lifetime moviegoer. Lifetime. There, for a long stretch of my life, I went to the movies every week. I was raised by a mother and father that loved the movies, and they went every week. I no longer go to the movies. And that's one of the concerns as well on this list of concerns. Bad for movie theaters. Netflix doesn't provide or prioritize theatrical releases. It owns Warner Brothers, a major movie studio. That fear creates the idea that there'll be fewer movies in theaters. But see, I just think in terms of content. Like, Patrick, I'm not even thinking about talk content. I'm not thinking about my career. I'm thinking about the content that I consume. And I don't distinguish anymore between a movie and a series. Like, the quality is negligible at this point. In fact, the series is of higher quality. The series is of higher quality. Okay, that's the problem. Let's come back to that in just a moment. But my personal analysis when I sit down to watch something is how much time do I want to give to something, and does it look good? And more often than not, the look good part of it is a series over a movie. Then I'm like, yeah, but do I want to go in on this for the next 7 to 10 hours or multiple seasons if I'm way behind? Movies actually end up being this. I think the future appeal of movies is I only have 2 hours, and I don't want to commit anything more than 90 minutes to 2 hours to something. That's the future of movies, and producing something good in there. But I don't, it is competition, but I feel like I've lost nothing with the decline of movies. I just don't feel like I've lost anything because I've gained more with series.
But a lot of this content in these shows are stretched out and could have been consolidated into movies. It's a genius business model Because if you're taking these ideas that could be movies, stretching them into 8, 9 episodes, you're getting a lot more watch time, a lot more subscribers, and you keep doing it. But it turns it into fluff. It turns it into nonsensical things that you don't need to watch. It's like reading a book.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? You don't need 8 episodes of something when you could have one movie in it. It's creating more consumerism and more, consumption of these longer products. And they're not as good.
Okay.
And it still costs money to make these things. It costs money to make TV shows, just like it costs money to make movies. And those costs are much higher than a CNN or a Fox News would have to make a talk show. That's my point. Is like the barrier to entry is a lot more difficult to get into than like you were talking about how we had these limited networks, broadcast networks, and now we have cable and it exploded. You need those. Like it's going to be harder for people to get into those markets because the money's not going to be there the same way.
But right now, let me ask you. Okay, let me ask you a question. Right? Do you feel like when you go to your television and you're not watching news or sports, and you want to watch something, do you feel like you're suffering from a lack of choices? Honestly,
too much stuff.
I don't.
There's
too much stuff. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So that's
I don't think it's that good.
That doesn't reflect a lack of competition.
But it's a lesser quality.
Patrick, there's so much. Okay, here's the thing. Maybe you're right, but the only way you would know that is by watching it all. Do you know what I mean? And judging.
I try to.
So what I'm. Well, you may. I watch a fair amount. You must watch a lot more than me. Here's how it works for me. Okay, this is my habit. It's probably in this order. I probably turn on my TV. I go to Netflix first. And I see what's on Netflix. It probably is the first place I go. And right now, Netflix has 2 or 3 things that I know I thought, I want to go back and watch that. One of which is a movie starring that Austin Butler about stealing something from New York that you watched today.
Yeah.
Should I watch it?
Yeah, I mean, it's depressing and a wild ride, but yeah, it's good.
Okay. What's the name of the movie? Stealing New York or something like that?
Yeah.
Something like that. And then I can go to Prime. I have a Prime subscription. I go and see what's on Prime. There's more unique series there. There's several options. I have Paramount,
Caught Stealing.
Landman, Caught Stealing. All right, Landman. I'm going to be honest with you. I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes of season 2 of Landman. I'm not sure I'm going to continue it. I may not. It's not.
It's mush.
It's not top tier for me.
It's like cowboy drivel. It had a good concept in the beginning, but they didn't need to stretch it out. It's exactly what I'm saying. It's just more content to put out there.
Right.
To make money.
Okay, so there's going to be a couple things on Apple TV. Every single one of these services has at least 3 things that look pretty good to watch. I go to Apple TV. I am invested in that Pluribus, watching that, which is the Vince Gilligan show, the guy that did Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. By the way, Dan, I don't know if you're watching that. I do feel like they're stretching it out. I feel like it could move along quicker. They're stretching this out too slowly. Not enough is happening in every episode.
And it's weekly, too. It's weekly releases, not just all at once as well. That's a difference.
That's right. And then I have Peacock I can go to. I have Paramount for all the Taylor Sheridan stuff if I want to continue with that. So my point is I'm paying for all these subscriptions. Between all of them, there's more content that looks good than I'll ever get to. So I just feel like there's a glut of competition. Like we're not suffering from consolidation. We're suffering from, if it's suffering, I mean, there's no such thing as suffering from too many choices, really. But I don't see the problem in the Netflix Warner Brothers deal.
It seems like a lot, but there's less than you think.
It's make 4 or 5 companies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as much as you think. It's all vertically integrated.
Paramount owns a lot. Amazon owns MGM. Disney owns all Disney stuff.
Yep.
And then now, if Netflix is going to own
Warner Brothers.
Who else is left? Apple's a little weird, but
they lose $1 billion a year making these shows.
Right.
Literally.
They're the outlier. But it's essentially 4, 5, maybe 6 companies are really making these things.
I think the idea also on the price front, like what is I pay for HBO. That's another one I do. I don't go to that one very often at all. That's if I was dropping a subscription, that's probably the one I would drop. HBO
I like that one the
and
best.
Netflix. So if they combine, like, how do my prices go up? I would think that, like,
Because
they're
they
gonna-
control the market.
it's
They
gonna
could charge
double?
you whatever you want. You know, they could. You're literally going to have to get it, so they could charge you, $50 a month, and you're going to say yes, please, thank you so much.
Hey, if you want this, you can get it for $30 a month, or you get it bundled for 40.
Exactly, you get this, but not this, or this and this, and not. It's just.
I would
insane.
argue consolidation. I would argue that consolidation is actually addressing a consumer demand. Like, right, what are we looking at now? 15 years ago,
Yeah.
everybody wanted to destroy the cable bundle. That's what we wanted to do. We didn't want to pay for all this stuff that we didn't watch. So we wanted to go a la carte. It's
our fault.
And then what did we do? We all got every single subscription. They built up over time, and you're spending as much now as you did with the cable bundle, just through all these different subscription services. And now consumers are asking for, can't we just have one? Can't we just have one we pay for and we go? So basically, the consumer is asking for a return of the cable bundle. And I think you're getting to a point, even if you're right, Patrick, that it's 3 or 4 companies, that's sort of what the consumer wants.